All right, we are live. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to TikTok. I'm here with one of my favorite male creators. You guys are always asking me, how can you get in the business? So I brought someone on to tell you how you can get in the business. Welcome, Jay Playhard.
Hey, what's going on?
How are things over there in Florida these days?
A little colder than we'd like, but it's starting to warm up. Hopefully, spring will get here in a few weeks.
I know, I'm ready for bikini season. I bought a whole bunch of new ones last week.
Oh, well, we got to get you down here to the Sunshine State.
I know. I realized it's been a year. I haven't been to Florida in a year.
Yeah, got to change that.
I know, which means the last time I saw you may have been a year ago.
Yep, that is correct.
Ugh, it's too long.
Entirely too long. Like, what are we doing?
I know.
The people want it.
I'm the problem. I'm the one. Fully aware of that too. I can admit that. I was there for XBiz, and then after that, I was like, I'm not going to travel anymore. So that's my fault. But this year, we're going to make it happen.
Yes, we are.
This is actually a great way to get started. Traveling a lot for what we do is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to be going to any of the Exoticas, or do you have any big upcoming plans?
I know I will be at Girls Don't Wireless here later on this month in Orlando. We also plan to do, some of the conventions, Exotica Miami, possibly Jersey. We're going to go back to AVN, of course. But XBiz will definitely be at XBiz this year in May. I believe it is in May. So looking forward to that. Never been to the XBiz event.
I liked it. It felt very professional, to be honest. Yeah, this is all the business side of things. This is,
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard, So I'm looking forward to that one.
I definitely plan on going back. Just because it was a great way to network and meet people and do podcasty stuff. And yeah, I met some interesting people and some other companies that were based here in Texas, which I was like, "Ooh, Texas people, this is exciting." So, but I'm hoping to go to my first Exotica this year.
Oh yeah, Exotica's fun. It's very laid back.
I've never been.
The few I've been to are very, very fan interactive. It's a little less. AVN this year was very policed. You couldn't wear certain things, and you had to be certain places. So Exotica is a lot more open, I'd say.
Okay.
AVN was still an amazing event, though. Still an amazing event.
Have you been to AVN before?
No, it was my first time.
Okay.
But the one thing that I did notice was the dress code. The dress code was a lot more strict at AVN, and I understand it's an award show and things like that. So
it's the Oscars of our industry.
It is. So I can understand that, but Exotica is definitely a little more laid back.
That's for sure. When people, try to explain to my real life friends these different types of events and things, and I'm like, well, the AVNs is the Oscars, and XBiz Awards is the Emmys, and it just keeps kind of going trying to compare things to that.
But it's true. It's true.
It is. It is. So I know we've had a lot of conversations about business things. You're one of the few people I know that has a clear strategy on the adult site business, which I put no effort into. So I have a lot of respect for it. So I was hoping, maybe I could ask you some questions around well, how'd you get into this? And then how you kind of built your business.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Okay. So I know you have a whole other life out there, but how'd you get into doing this? And then how do you balance it with your real life and a job and everything?
Well, this is now my full-time job. Where
Oh,
I
it
can,
is?
yes, it's
I
been that
didn't know you made
way.
the change.
Yeah. So I made the change in July. Um, I was bartending. I love to get behind the bar and make drinks. So I was bartending at the time at a very nice restaurant, Shades on 38 in Panama City Beach. If you're ever in town, that's fam there. But I was doing that, and kind of doing this on the side. I had been a swinger lifestyle event host for the past 10 years.
Oh,
So that foundation kind of gave me a leg up, I'd say. Just having those relationships, because the swinger OnlyFans creator lane is a huge lane right now. So that definitely, I'd say, gave me a leg up. I was able to, find models that you didn't necessarily see on other platforms. So that was big starting off, and then it just grew and grew, and ended up, meeting other partners in the industry, and now we're doing this full time. We edit for people, we do website customization, we build websites. So I'm in front of the camera a lot, but I'm definitely sitting at my computer doing the behind the scenes stuff a lot more.
oh my goodness. We should have a talk about the behind the scenes stuff because I'm like, I could use a new website.
Talk to me. Talk to me. We are all about helping the independent creator grow and flourish and create a name for themselves, that, because a lot of people don't know, when you go on that paid shoot, you only get paid one time. So with our strategy, you get paid those back end residuals that a lot of people miss. We're
Mhm.
aware of a lot of sites that other people aren't aware of. We have distribution deals with a few companies. So without going too deep into that, but so we definitely here to help. Definitely here to help here at Thick Vision.
That's very exciting. I know I was talking to a male creator that I met on TikTok a while back, and he was one of these guys, got a million followers on TikTok, and then was like, "Oh, what's this fan site I keep hearing about?" And he started doing it, and now he has like a whole bunch of questions about this other world. Like a lot of people from like social media success are now like, "Oh, what is this over here? I can make a lot of money doing this." But then it's so hard to figure out what to do, and you sign up for like every site, and then you're spread way too thin. That's my problem. And you're like, I'm not making any money off of this. How do I make money off of this? And then the first time it like really clicked for me was when you sat me down and you showed me your dashboard and like all the sites, all your metrics and everything. And the marketing person in me got so excited that this existed because no one had ever showed me that before. So, how did you kind of like learn how to do all that on your own?
Well, before I was bartending, at my last place, I had a big boy job doing data entry for a foreign trade zone company. It was a very niche industry, so they really teach you how to read graphs and spreadsheets and things of that nature. Skills that I really didn't have before, and I never thought that they would help me in this, but they have tremendously. So it's all
Mhm.
about recognizing those trends early, what works for you, what doesn't work as much, and just kind of adjusting and being flexible. I notice a lot of creators, when they get into it, they have these expectations of, well, I've got a million followers on TikTok or wherever the case may be, and they really don't understand that this is a totally different platform. You know,
Yeah.
Someone who does not have a following on Instagram or a Twitter may have a million person following on a adult tube site, and that's a platform that pays you. I always tell my clients, focus on the platforms that pay you. These social media platforms are great, and they are a great tool, but if you're not using them in conjunction with these paid platforms in the correct way, you're never going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, and I am not. I am guilty of doing this. I fully admit this. I put some effort into it, and then I was like, I just don't have the like mental energy to do this, even though I know I should, and part of me wants to, because it's out there anyway. That's the thing. I know there are videos of me out there from working with other people, and fans take a video and they put it wherever they want to put it. So it's already out there. It's just a matter of trying to make money off of it myself. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you actually make money on those sites?
Sure, I can share a little bit without getting too deep into it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like I say, it, you do anything for a certain amount of time, you're going to have some type of success at it. That's just kind of my law of attraction there. So I like to tell people to stay focused. It's going to be slow at first because you're building a platform of paid viewership, which is a lot different and a lot harder than building a platform of free viewership. Meaning, when you post that promo video on Twitter or wherever you post it, uh, that potential customer is more likely to watch that video because it's on a free channel. Okay. So for me, I'm going into it saying, okay, I'm going to share my content, freely. Well, some content will be shared freely, of course, but I'm going to put it in a place that pays me ad revenue. And a lot of us don't take advantage of the ad revenue. Um,
Mhm.
for those that don't know how to do it or don't want to do it, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. And, we will get that going in the right track for you. We have the metrics to prove it, so that'd be one tip. There's many,
I
many more. Trust me.
Oh, no. Well, when you realize that these sites will pay you an ad revenue, and of course it's based on the amount of viewers you get, it is, you're like, oh, wait, I can make money from doing this. I'm not just trying to get fans to sign up for a subscription. They're just going to pay me like advertising. And this light bulb kind of goes off. You're like, it doesn't cost me any money to post on these sites and I can make money. But like you said, it takes time to build it, for sure. And I think getting into this business at all, it's just like anything else. It takes time to get to a level of success that you are comfortable with. Then you can be like, hey, I can quit my full-time job and I can start doing this. So how long before you start taking it seriously? Because I know you've been doing this for a while, but like from the time you start taking it more seriously to the time where you're like, yep, I can quit my job and start doing this full time. Like how long did that take you?
For me, that was always the goal. Even when I was hosting lifestyle events, I always wanted to own my own business. Always wanted to, and me personally, I'm very bossy. So I
I
didn't
would
like having.
say bossy makes it sound like bad. Like you're just very clear about what you want and you give clear direction and you've got to be professional. You got to be like on time, show up, do the job. Like those are your expectations.
Yeah, but I always knew I wanted my own thing. So going into it, this is before kind of the OnlyFans explosion in 2020. Um, I went into it and I took it seriously. A lot of people think that they can just post some feet pics or something like that, and they're gonna make all this money. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. When a friend asked me, "Hey, how can I get into it?" Oh, I just want to do feet pics. Doesn't quite work like that, boss. But
I mean,
you have
there
to
are
be
people that have done that, but you're going to
the
have to do
odds
some
of
weird.
you the odds of you getting rich off that are very slim in our industry. We deal in a very oversaturated industry where people can get
Mm,
whatever they want for free at any time.
yeah.
So you have to really, really take it seriously. Before we shot anything, just 6 months of research, 6 months of learning how to work a camera myself, so I didn't have to hire a cameraman. Just small stuff like that.
Mhm.
When you attack the problem, a lot of times, this is another thing. I'm just going to throw it out there, but a lot of times we come in and people want to be the star of their own brand, when a lot of times it just doesn't work like that.
No.
If I host one of my shoot houses and I own 100 scenes from that shoot house, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to make more money from that investment than I would have, doing the one-on-one shoot type of thing. And I'm the star. So I started as a producer. That was my whole thing at first. It just so happens that people were very receptive to my starring roles, and so the being in front of the camera kind of, you know, snowball. So but I started as a producer.
That makes sense. I would say you do have some special skills on camera for sure, which helps. I think I look at that. I look at that way too, to be like, having a special talent definitely helps get people's attention. And even though what I love talking to you about business stuff is because like I had this whole career in entertainment and marketing before I started doing this, and I was like, yeah, social media, I got that, and that's how I built up my own brand. But I think that, to your point, one thing that people don't realize is like all those influencers and all those celebrities, they all have a whole team of people behind the scenes that do everything for them. And I'm like, okay, I've got an agency and they help me with a lot of stuff. But all the stuff that you talk about, I'm like, that's all the stuff that I'm missing. That's all the stuff that's like, it's a piece of the puzzle for me. It's out there, and I should do this. I should do this. It's like a nagging thing. So I love that you're starting to do this, to offer more of this to people, because when you're, I've been doing this, oh my goodness, like over 2 years now, 2.5 years. And I feel like it's only really in the past like 6 months to a year that I'm like, oh no, this is where I'm making money. This is the business I want to be in. And how do I continue to expand and grow? Which is why the podcast is online and remote and live now. But there's still this other part that's totally missing. And I am so willing to like give it to somebody else to run for me. I'm like, I trust Jay. I endorse Jay fully, everybody, just so you know. Go call him and have him help you with this, because I guarantee when you start seeing a couple $100s a month roll in and then a couple $1,000s a month roll in, like, it's going to make a difference.
And that is the goal. With every client we take on, we're very honest in the sense that you have to have content for this to work. If I've had models come and they want to do these things and their hearts are in the right place, but they're just not at the point content wise to fully take advantage of it. So if anyone comes into an agreement with me as far as running a page or website building or optimization or editing or anything, I'm gonna let you know right off the jump before we even make the transaction that, hey, this is what we're looking at and this is where we need to be. So with every person I take on, I can guarantee a 90-day return on the investment. Like, that's just with the proper amount of content. So
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I have a ton of content, and it just kind of sits there, sits in a Dropbox, just waiting. It's just waiting. And now I have all this wonderful podcast content where I have all these, interviews with wonderful creators and sexy ladies. And, like, that's a whole other thing that should be out there right now. It's just on my fan site. But I think there's opportunity for it to be in other places as well, with consent, of course. So in terms of getting, when, because men always ask, how do you start doing this? How do you approach a woman to shoot with you? How do you earn the trust of female creators? How did you start doing this? Like, I know you talked about being in the lifestyle, and that really helped kind of get your foot in the door. But if you had to give a little advice to, somebody in some small town in the Midwest who's, got a Twitter and an OnlyFans, like, what advice would you give them to really start building their business and working with female creators in particular? Because that's the question I get all the time. Like, I want to shoot with you. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Well, 3 things. Respect first. Okay. You can ruin an opportunity for yourself forever with one tweet, one DM, one saying something to somebody else, and it gets back to, like, I've seen it, respect. If you always put respect out there, I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but most times you do get respect back from the ladies. Even if they're not interested in shooting with you, they will take note that, hey, I turned him down, but he was respectful. Maybe when he built his platform up, maybe we can revisit it. I've had that happen a lot of times. You know, they tell me no this year, and then next year, hey, let's shoot together. I remember you were very cool about it, and I've
Mhm.
been watching you. Number two is, again, take it seriously. Do your homework. Go on YouTube. Learn how to use those, because I see a lot of guys, they'll buy cameras and don't even know how to use them. Um, won't worry about the camera angles. You know, these ladies take a lot of time with hair, makeup. I've even surgery, you know what I mean? They take a lot of time with their look. I mean, it is a big investment. So if they're going to give you that time, you have to be respectful of it and know your craft.
Mhm.
Thirdly, you have to bring something to the table other than being able to look good in front of a camera, because there's no guarantee that you're going to sell because you don't have a platform yet, you know?
Yeah.
So these women don't know if you're going to sell for them. Um, you know, it takes a long time to build up a loyal fan base that will go buy every one of your videos or an outfit or whatever, and they just don't have time to entertain every single dude in the inbox. So when you get that time, make the most of it. You know, they can make or break your career.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. When someone comes to me and they're like, "No, I shoot and I edit and I'll give you a fully edited final video." I'm like, that's what I need. That's what I want to hear more than anything. It's great that you're good on camera and all that, but then I have this like huge file that's not edited and just sits there. And like, so for me, anybody listening, that's like the secret to be like, oh, I will professionally shoot and edit this for you. Great. I'm listening. I'm absolutely listening. Um, Oh my goodness. I have so many questions about like how can we start my little platform? But I feel like that's a question for like us to have separately and not in
Yes,
front of
ma'am.
at all.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
I know it's wild. I'm like, oh, there's so many things I need to be doing, but I will get there. That's the other thing I think people should understand too is, you know, focus on the things that are going to make you money. Don't put the effort into things that don't make you money, and don't beat yourself up too much if you're not doing all the things, but know that if you're going to take on a new sort of I don't channel of all of this sort of business, like give yourself time. Don't be too hard on yourself. So people ask that all the time. I'm like, no, you're not some hot Instagram girl that's going to make 20K your first month doing this. That does not happen for most people.
It doesn't even happen for the hot Instagram girls. Hey, well, I mean, we can get into it. We can talk about it. Like, you know, I mean, popularity does not equal dollars.
Mm,
In the sense of social media popularity. Like there's a lot of tricks to the trade. I'm not gonna give them all away, but I'll give away one. You can buy
okay.
followers. You can buy followers.
Oh,
So you know, just I mean, I know we know this as industry people, but the average person getting into it may not know. They may look at this profile with 20,000, 100,000, however many million followers, and think that's an organic fan base. A lot of times it isn't. Yeah, I'm just pulling the
it's
curtain
not.
back just a little bit.
No, I fully admit I
You
bought
know,
followers in the beginning. I absolutely did because I knew that the key to networking with people was to look like I had some sort of following. So I bought like 10,000 Instagram followers and was like, okay. But ultimately, what I will tell people is that doing that hurts you in the long run because your page isn't growing organically. And I actually sat down, you'll be really proud of me. I sat down and looked at all my social media metrics for 6 months. I had Google Analytics set up for my fan site. So I knew exactly how many people clicked the link. And then I was like, okay, my average monthly subscription is this and bringing in this. So I was able to figure out how many people I reached on social media, how many clicks that brought in, and then about like a monthly average of what it helped me earn. And looking at it from that perspective was wild. And I will say the majority of it is TikTok and Instagram, like 80% of it. But that's what works for me. But TikTok is what did the organic growth for me. That is what kind of set off all the algorithms for me to bring people in. But now that I'm like, oh, I'm making some good money, I'm like, well, how can I double this money? Where's the money?
there you go. There
Where's
you
the rest
go.
of it? Where's the rest of it? but it is, the buying followers definitely hurts you in the long run, I will say, because then your page will just go dead and you'll be like, you have nothing. And I know not everybody has big boobs to help get people to pay attention, but you've got to be creative. You've got to be interesting to get people's attention.
Exactly. You know, yeah, they just had a Twitter purge of bots last week.
Yeah.
People lost thousands of followers, you know. So, you know, that's just one little secret, you know, that we'll give away. There are quite a bit more. You know, diversification is huge. You want to diversify those platforms and get your content out there to a multitude of places because, you know, I think we tend to forget in this social media age because it's so short-term memory, you know. So short form storytelling, all that good stuff. But there is a whole generation of fans who are not on OnlyFans. They're old school. They've got their sites that they, you know, that they,
Oh,
you know, they got it on auto pay. You know, they're gonna go. They're gonna be heard because they've been there for years, and you want to reach those people too. So
that's a good way of saying it. I remember I asked you one time, it was like, who still buys DVDs? Why are you making DVDs? And you were like, there are people that don't have internet, believe it or not. And, you know, like military guys overseas. And I was like, oh my God, you're totally right. Like, and you forget about these things because I was just like, this is so 20 years ago. Like, why are you producing DVDs?
you know, I mean, you have these people with these government jobs and clearances, and they can't have that stuff on their computer. You know, so
Oh
you
my
got to
God.
be able to reach everyone.
I went to, they opened a Hustler store in Austin. So I went in about a month ago with my friend. I'm like, I honestly want to see if my face is on a DVD. Like, it's probably not, but I just want to make sure. I just need to check and see. And I didn't see my face on anything, but it was still kind of like a funny thing to go into.
It will be one day. It will be one day.
You never know. Life goals, right?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna put you on one. Now I'm gonna put you on one.
You're gonna put my face right on the cover.
Yeah.
Can we make sure it's like a flattering angle? Like,
No, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna let you pick. We're gonna let you pick the image.
we're gonna have a real creative meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. You know, we'll do another Texas thing or something and we'll call it, we'll have a good name for it for sure. Something very eye-catching. Um oh my goodness. Anyway. Well, I know we've been on already for a half hour, and now we're going to go do our special bonus feature interview where we can talk about, you know, what I'll call some other life goals. But why don't you tell the people where they can find you for content, for producing, for coaching?
Well, you can find my content at thickvision.com and the content featuring me at djplayhard.com. If you're looking for coaching, editing, website building, or anything like that, my email is playhardparties1984@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jay. Everybody, make sure you go check him out. His website is in the description, and his Instagram is scrolling along the bottom there. And you know where to go to find the next portion of this interview. Thanks, y'all. Happy
Later,
Tuesday.
everybody.
Bye. Mwah.